Uh, there's a larger aspects or many aspects enmeshed in this. If you don't mind me taking a few minutes on this one.
Please take all the time.
Whatever I say, all the ladies, you must listen to me carefully. I'm not biased But we should not ignore realities in the sense, see, we are doing a fundamental mistake in this. That is, we are trying to equate a man and a woman in the physical world. It's a wrong way to go. Because in the physical world, male is definitely stronger physically. The leveling of the playing field is happening not because of evolution of attitudes and perceptions, no, only because of technology. Because, let us say, I'm in Coimbatore 1,000 years ago, not today. You want to come, most probably you won't come, the man in your house will come. You will not come, simply because variety of problems are there on the way. So only the man traveled, only the man did things outside. It is not that women did nothing, they did the most significant thing, that they gave birth to us I don't see how it is less significant than earning a few rupees. How is it less significant that somebody who gave birth to me is less significant than somebody who earned a few bucks for me? How is it less significant? I don't understand. Because we are driving the entire world today only from the perspective of the economic engine. Economic engine or economics as we know it is just a glorified version of just providing for ourselves. That's all it is. We've glorified it in such a way that that's the only thing that matters. Today if you say, a big man in Bangalore city, I wouldn't dare say a big woman, okay? If you say a big man, it's not because he's got big brains, we call him a big man. Not because he has a big heart, we call him a big man. Not because he has enormous wisdom, we call him a big man. He's got a big pocket. I'm saying our perspective has become like this. The simple act of providing for ourselves and those around us has been glorified to a point. Providing has always been the activity of the male. But making life beautiful, making life meaningful, bringing sense to life has always been the act of the feminine. But unfortunately, we are creating a society where there is no value for anything that is feminine. And now you're expecting a woman to succeed. The only way is she has to do this all the time, just like a man. She can do it, but she doesn't have the same amount of muscle. That doesn't make us inferior, that doesn't make somebody else superior, that's not the point. The point is, we have created a very skewed playing field. Now you're wanting to succeed on that playing field which is not designed for you. I'm saying we need to redesign the society so that both masculine and feminine have equal roles to play. Today, the role for the… I'm not talking about male-female, I'm talking about masculine and feminine. The role for the feminine in the making of our society is so minimal that we think we can do without it. No, it must be equal, only then life will be beautiful. Otherwise, you will work your life out without knowing why the hell you're doing what you're doing. That's what is happening. So as a woman, as the feminine, as a manifestation of feminine, I'm saying, what is more significant in our life than our birth, I'm asking? How's anything more significant? The only more significant thing if you live a bad life is your death. The most significant aspect of our life is our birth. In this aspect, our mothers or the women had 90% role and maybe 10% for the man's role. I don't know what's the percentage, but you know, you're a bio. But now we are starting to create a world where it is all about masculine activity and women are supposed to succeed in that. Obviously, it'll be torturous.
No, but I think, Guruji, if you think about it, in the knowledge economy, it's not about,
That's what I'm saying, that is changing.
It's
That
about
is changing
brains,
now
right?
because of technology.
Yes.
Because the brawn is becoming less and less significant, now women are beginning to play their role. But this is only in the last 2 generations. For 2 generations, I think they've done very well. And we must understand this in the rural areas of this country, and I would like to change this. It is not just in India, it is in the human societies, it's like this. The discrimination is there. It may be on the surface they've leveled it out because of development, of technology, of conveniences, that women are playing equal role in many places. So, we don't have to… Fundamentally what I'm saying is, a society has to take care of one thing, that a woman cannot be physically harmed, okay? The rest, I think she will fend for herself. There is no need to make it overtly nice for her, she will fend for herself. Only thing is, physically, because she is more vulnerable than a man, every society should establish that physical threat for her is not there. Rest of it, I think she will handle it. She's equipped to handle it, I believe.
But Sadhguruji, if you think about what is happening in our country, even in what you call as a evolving society or civilization, you can see that, there is still that huge focus on a male child. I mean, even our government is trying to incentivize families to have girl children, which is, okay, a very laudable thing, but then until it comes from within, that a girl child is as important and as joyous as a male child, you are not going to be able to get away from these skewed gender populations that we have in different parts of the country. It is creating even more serious problems in societies. And you also have a very poor representation of women in many parts of our ecosystem. We know that. Today if you look at politics, whether you look at boardrooms, whether you look at any aspect of our daily lives and the economy, there is a underrepresentation.
Here on the stage, there's equal representation.
Yes, I agree with that.
We must understand this. We have been an agricultural society for a very long time, and we still are. Living in Bangalore, you may think you are a tech society, but no, India is still an agricultural society. Over 65% are still involved in agricultural activities. In that society, it's very important to have a son, for a variety of reasons, for economic activities. Another thing is, we valued our women big time at one time, but in the last 10-15 generations, we have been so… our poverty has taken over the society so badly that if a boy comes, by the time he's 8-10, they would put him to work. If a girl comes, you have to protect her and you have to get her married and all these issues. So it is more an economic bias in people's mind. They're afraid, if I have 2-3 girls, I'm finished. This is the kind of feeling that the poorer segments of the society have. And this entire dowry system, which was done for the well-being of the woman, so that when she gets married and goes, she gets a portion of the father's wealth. That's the idea of the dowry, which has taken on such an ugly form today. All these things turned against, but fundamentally, discriminations have come not because of gender basis, but because of economic basis, has gotten skewed into a gender process. Otherwise, particularly in this society, right from ancient times, if you look at it, say, I will just look back and see, in every other civilization in the world, let's say beyond 1500 or 2000 years beyond that, how many women's names are even remembered? This is a country where we have many women who are prominent women of those times, who still today, they're part of our lore, they're part of our culture. People are always talking about Sita, Draupadi, Parvati, this, that, because we still remember them as prominent. If you have to remember somebody after 5,000 years, they must have been significant, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think, Sadhguruji, what I wanted to say was, I completely agree with you that if you look at the agrarian society, which actually constitutes a large part of our country, I can accept what you're saying. But my major concern is about our society. Why is it that we are still so biased? And you know, the question I want to ask you is, how do you basically change this societal attitude? What does your message say for the men in the audience? Shouldn't you think that the men also have to change their attitude, whether they are a husband, a father, a son, you know, or whatever? I mean, shouldn't they be sort of, playing their role in bringing about gender equity?
I would rather talk to the ladies.
Okay. What would you say to the ladies?
Because one thing that women have to remember is, we must understand this, that society, a social process is need-based. Because different people have different needs, that is how people come together and make a society, and somewhere we form rules how to fulfill our needs without encroaching upon somebody else. So, the uniqueness of being feminine should not be lost. In trying to be successful, don't become like men, because men are desperately trying to find meaning in their life. In many ways, later on disillusionments may happen, but in many ways, at least at the beginning stage of life, a woman brings meaning to a man's life. It's very important for him. I'm saying, don't give up the fundamental strength of who you are in trying to succeed in another world. The playing field itself is changing, and it will change further. As we already went through this, from a very physical world, we are moving into a cerebral world. As we move into the cerebral world, there is no need to fight for gender equality stuff. It will anyway happen, it'll find its own way. But we must understand this moving away from the physical world is only 50 years old. That's all it is. For 50 years, hasn't tremendous change happened? Has it not happened? It's happened. So, this will anyway happen. Only thing is, right now, I feel the only thing that we need to strictly enforce is, she should have the same opportunities in terms of education. Only education. Don't worry about the jobs and business and stuff, that will happen. Only in terms of access to knowledge and training, she has as much access as a man has. Another thing is, because she's physically vulnerable, every society has to have absolute laws that her physical safety is well taken care of. Rest, don't worry, it will happen.
Well said.